So
Weird.
how was the experience working with Chief Keef?
It was okay. It was very different than working with most of the people I work with.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing was like most of the music videos I did, people reached out to me like for the videos, and then the Chief Keef stuff was kind of like happened because I was around him.
Why were you around him?
You see, I'm Southside reppin', Bigfoot steppin'. Zone 3 section is God flow perfection. Hating on the church like I ain't blessed they section. If we ain't talking money, I got a weak connection. That's on the hood. She said get a bag, so I get it, got it good. Don't complain about my problems, I just put it in a wood. Seen a genie the other day, she said make it good. So I wish for good health, then I wish to look. It's chief, not lieutenant. Yeah, I'm back, been a minute.
All right, another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm going to say it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to claim it. But I'm going to say legendary videographer Ben Hughes. Do you call yourself a videographer?
I usually go by filmmaker.
Filmmaker,
Because I guess it's a little more creative. Videographer, people usually use that to refer to like just kind of filming an event.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a
picking
pigeonhole.
up the camera and like aiming at something.
Yeah, that's
Filmmaker
true.
is more about storytelling and like crafting the narrative,
Yeah, you are Ben the filmmaker.
Yeah, I mean, when I found out that Instagram name wasn't taken, I was like,
Yours.
change it immediately. I need this.
For sure. No, that's great.
So
that's
it's
great.
pretty
Well,
cool.
welcome, man. I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So let's. I want to start from the beginning because I know. I just found out that your first music video, you were only 16.
Yeah.
Which is really that. I mean, bro, if I think about what I was doing at 16, I was a piece of shit at 16. I was a nightmare, and you're out here shooting videos for Alan Kingdom and Rocky Diamonds, and like you're really doing it. So how did what made you jump into it? What was the thing that pushed you into going, I'm shooting video. I want to shoot music videos.
I mean, I had always been like doing camera stuff and like making little entertaining little silly videos. Like, but what happened was like this kid who used to go to grade school with me was in this jerkin crew. So back in the jerkin days.
Yep.
And then I made some short films and they reached out to me and then I did their dance video and then some local artists saw that and then they reached out to me from that.
Who was the dance video?
It was Illusionary. Illusionary was the group name. So
Okay.
That was how it was.
I feel like I know about this. Is there like a backstory? Is there an artist that was in the group, like the Jerkin group?
Oh yeah, there's a couple.
That like went on to become artists, like musical artists?
I mean, a lot of them still make music now. So, yeah.
Was Soda
I don't know.
Supreme involved in that?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else because I know he started as a dancer.
I don't know.
He says he can still dance. So I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was never really in that scene that much though.
So you were shooting videos for them, and then some artists saw, and they were like,
Yeah, like literally the first person I ever did a music video for was Alan Kingdom when I was 16.
Yeah.
And then it was Rocky Diamonds right after that. And then like a couple months later, I'm like in the local like music scene now.
Yeah.
Just doing that. So it was really interesting because like as a 16-year-old, like I was really like just in a completely different scene. And once I did that, it was like, oh, I had no idea there's this many like artists in Minnesota who actually make really good music.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we have our own little like LA almost.
Yeah.
If you really think about it like that.
for sure, and still kind of do, really.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I don't know.
you was it something you had thought of before that, or was it like, did it take Alan reaching out to you like, hey, I want you to shoot a video, for you to be like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could do
It
that.
really did take people like reaching out to me to like really get into music videos because my whole plan originally was just like, I'm gonna make these original short films. I'm gonna work a side job, and kind of like how music artists do it. They make their own original content and then share it and hope it like goes up,
Yeah.
So that was my original trajectory. That's still part of it, but it was just really like, yeah, I wasn't really expecting to get into music videos, but I'm glad I did. It was a wholly different experience.
Yeah. Were you like a hip hop fan? Like, was that kind of like, would there have been another option at the time? Like, what if it was like rock music when they were like, hey man, you shoot great videos?
I mean, honestly, like I would have done either.
Yeah.
It's like I like music in general. I was never really like a hardcore fan of any like one genre.
Yeah.
I just really just try to appreciate art.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you just kept going, and you continued to work
Yeah.
quite a bit with, well, let's talk about the relationship specifically with Alan. Like, you are still to this day working with him.
Definitely. it was just it's funny how things work out. Like it was just like you work with some people and you make good content and you vibe out, and it's just like, yeah, you make some art, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Were you friends with him previous to that, or was
No.
that so?
It was
He
just
saw,
like
he
made
just saw
the
the video.
video.
And was like, I need work.
Yeah, exactly.
How many videos have you shot for Alan?
Let's see. It's been like probably about 7, maybe. I
Okay.
guess probably more, if you consider the old stuff
Yeah.
from like way back. Yeah, it's like I've done so many videos over the years. It's really like hard to keep track.
So you were there through kind of his ride with Kanye and stuff.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like at least the Minnesota portions and stuff like that.
How did that affect your career as a videographer? Did you benefit off of that relationship?
A little bit. It was like once we did the Evergreens video, that was when things really like took off.
Yeah.
You know, it was like all of a sudden hundreds of thousands of views come in, and like it was pretty crazy. And like the Kanye thing kind of hit everyone like by surprise. It's
Yeah.
just like literally like a couple months ago, Alan was just talking about like his next moves and stuff like that. I didn't really know what was gonna happen, and then all of a sudden you see him on stage with the VMAs, and it's like, whoa, I
Holy
didn't know
shit.
Minnesota artists were doing shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like
So-
you never know what's gonna happen with people's like careers. That's the cool thing about it, you know. It's like you just keep pushing, keep putting your stuff out there, and it's like really, it's like the future is a clean slate. Like
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
also part of what kind of creates a reality for artists. It's like I hate saying this, but it's true. If your path is to be in music, you're probably not going to make it.
It's a hard game, you know.
The
It's
odds
really
are
hard.
stacked so much against you. Like you have to almost be an anomaly. Like you have to get lucky on some things.
Yeah.
Like you have to get like you said, like it was like all of a sudden there's Alan with Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Something
The
happened.
funny thing is, it's like I think when you pump out like enough volume though,
Mm-hmm.
enough content, and like constantly like make something that's good, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a numbers game. If it only happens 1% of the time, you do 100 projects, and it's gonna happen if they're good and you're in the right like scenario. You know,
That's for sure. No,
So-
you're right. And when I say make it, I mean like to the
to the very
upper
top.
echelon. Like, yeah, you can nowadays
It's really it's complicated.
you can sustain a career in music by having
yeah.
a cult fan base.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you're making $60,000-$70,000 a year on music, you're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
That's
good.
huge.
Like
That's
the world
really
may not
good.
know who you are, but if you're making that much money, like, and that's decent. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
make 60, 70K a year off of music, that's great. But yeah, so did you ever get a chance to like be around Kanye during this period of time?
No, not I never did. No.
Was it something that you wanted to, that you were
I
hoping?
mean, yeah, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it too much. It's just like, let's see where this goes. I just try to stay open-minded and creative focused, you know.
For sure.
So,
What was you know, Rocky Diamonds is kind of a what would you call it? A controversial character in Minnesota nowadays because you know he's got a history or whatever, and like there's been some things that have happened. I don't know exactly what everybody's issue with him is, other than he's had some things on the internet that kind of looked ugly, but I don't know why we judge people off that. Everyone gets into shit. His shit
Yeah,
just
yeah.
happened to be on camera.
Mhm.
What was your relationship like with him?
I mean, like, I tend to stay out of whatever personal stuff people are going through,
Mhm.
but like, I shot some videos with the dude, and the dude was pretty cool. Like, just like, hey, this is what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
Can you do it? And then we do it, and it's like, all right, good shit. And then,
Talented guy.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, it was always pretty simple with me, you know. And I think that just makes things smoother, you know.
For sure.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair answer. So, so now you've kind of stepped into the world of like films. So now you're really making, you know, you got the movie out on Amazon,
Mhm, The Protectors.
The Protectors.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the culmination of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, movies have always been, like, my main passion. It's, like, that's what the video stuff was all supposed to lead to, and all the various other creative ventures in that, like, category. It was all leading to making feature films and stuff like that. Yeah, it was one of those things. It's like I had been doing it a lot when I was younger, and then when I turned, like, 16 and started doing a lot of these music videos, I kind of stopped doing as many, like, film projects and stuff like that. So in the past couple years, I've really like made an extra effort to really just focus on my own original like short films and stories that I want to tell. So
the Protectors is yours.
yes.
Did you? So you like
mine.
you wrote the script? You like what? How?
I wrote probably most of it. I had a co-writer help
Okay.
me with some stuff, and
Okay.
then worked with a lot of local actors and stuff like that, and people who helped make everything come to life. But
Yeah.
it was my own little idea that I came up with in my bedroom, you know, just like, hey, I fucking love superheroes. Let's fucking make my superhero movie.
For sure.
And like, it's one of those things that people try to tell you that like, don't make a superhero movie for your first movie. You don't like, because there's so many effects. It's like 100 times harder than most movies. But like, the way I got into filmmaking was really just like, I started doing VFX and like just silly things like that before I started really like making movies and music videos. So it's like, if there's any kind of movie that like I was kind of meant to do, it's like something like The Protectors.
Yeah.
So I had to do it. Like, regardless of whether you're ready, it was just like, jump in, you know.
For
and that's
sure.
kind of what made it fun, you know.
Yeah, and it's the people that take risks like that that usually end up making a name for themselves. So even if it was a risk, and it sounds like you did a great job. I wish I meant to watch it last night, and I got so tired I fell asleep.
A lot of time.
But I'm definitely. So can you tell me a little bit about the movie? Is it kid friendly?
No, it is a TVMA rating, I guess. It's just like a lot of language, violence, and stuff like that. It's not too crazy on that part, but it's an adventure, you know. It's about like a guy just like me finding out that his dad was an alien, and then he finds out there's a local group of vigilantes, and he's working with a group of like street level vigilantes, and then together they really like just up the like they go from fighting little street thugs to moving up to like real fucking like
The bosses, the
big
big
bosses
dogs.
of the world, you
Yeah.
know. Like if you look at all these conspiracy theories about Illuminati and shit, that's what I basically
The lizard-
used
the lizard
to-
people?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
create like the
yeah.
ultimate like
Yeah.
bad guys for the movie. So it's a lot of fun, you know. It's just
That's
it's,
great.
it's my type of fucking movie.
Are you? So I assume I assume you're like a Marvel fan.
Oh yeah.
Are you a
Marvel, DC.
DC?
It's really hard to pick.
Is it really?
It's like I grew up being like a Spider-Man fan. Like literally the first show I ever remember watching was like the 1994 Spider-Man series,
Okay.
like when I was like 3 years old.
Yep.
And then I've gone through phases where it's like, no, DC, like The Flash. It's like it's hard to decide. I just love superheroes, so
Yeah.
That's
That's funny. I feel like for the average consumer, it's so easy to decide because Marvel's just killing shit.
yeah. I don't know.
And DC has had some not good ones. They've
I
had
mean,
some good
they've had
ones
a lot.
too.
It's crazy. It's just it's like at that level, it's like it really depends on like the production company and just their like I feel like their management skills. It's like a lot of these guys that have like the money to fund these movies don't necessarily like care about like the stories, and it's like that's I think the thing that has led like Marvel to be a little bit more successful than the others. Because
Yeah.
like the head of Marvel was like a comic book fan his whole
sure.
life, and like was working on so many other projects like for years.
Yeah, because they Marvel. The thing about Marvel for me is they really did a good job of making us fall in love with these characters for real. Like when Iron Man, when
Yeah.
Tony Stark went down,
Yeah.
that was a real moment, and it was funny because I actually went and saw. What was the one that he died in? That was
Endgame.
Endgame, yeah.
Avengers Endgame.
I went and saw Endgame by myself in
Yeah,
the middle of the
yeah.
afternoon, and I'm sitting here like tears running down my face because Tony Stark is dying, and I'm like, "What happened?" And I realized it's like, "Yo, Iron Man 1 was what 10, almost 15 years ago,
Oh yeah.
maybe more."
2008, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a long time to have a kind of a relationship with someone almost.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah.
where Marvel's winning, I think. Yeah. So is that something that you see in your future? Maybe being involved in a Marvel?
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be really damn cool, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, I really want to tell, like, my own original stories, but, like that is, like, the ultimate fucking, like, if I want to tell superhero movies, like, Marvel is, like, the ultimate.
That's the mecca
end goal,
right there.
You know?
Yeah.
So, honestly, it's like, I really just want to, like, just direct and tell stories that are really, like, meaningful to me, but also, you know, I like to have fucking super fun, like, experiences in the movie theater, you
For
know?
sure.
Like, something like Endgame, like, the theater experience of Endgame, like, you can't replace that. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you're transported to another world for 3 hours, and then you come out like, holy shit, my life's been changed.
For
You
real.
know?
No, that is
So,
a fact, 100%.
That's powerful for me.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So you're also working on a spinoff of The Protectors.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
tell me how much. I don't know how much you can tell me about it, how much you want to tell me, but
Yeah, so it's a series called Metamorphosis.
Okay.
It's I'm not talking too much about it. It's really like I'm waiting for this pretty big announcement about like the way I'm going about making it.
Okay.
It's you could say the tactics I'm using to make it have never been done before,
Oh,
and it's
shit.
something that's like I think it's gonna get a lot of hype. So I'm really waiting to like announce it in the right way. But
Okay.
yeah, Metamorphosis. It's gonna be like more of a drama mystery series. It's connected to the Protectors. But what makes it different is that it's not really about superheroes. It's more about society adapting to like a change in like perception and what is real. Like how would like our population today like react if they found out that like an actual superhero was among us? And like if you consider all these like things that people believe in and worry about, like crazy things, like how many more people would start believing in all sorts of like weird shit, and how much other weird shit could be real if there's an actual superhero out there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really about telling like the stories about like different people in society, just really adapting to it,
I
like,
like
a change
that.
in the world.
I
Like
like that.
different stories for each episode, different characters for each episode, but at the same time it's like all connected. So that's gonna be fun.
I like that. So do you have? Are you filming yet? Or are you just writing? What's the
Yeah, I've been
process
filming a
you're
couple
in?
episodes here. Filmed the first episode in Minnesota, second episode in Alaska, another one in Atlanta, and then another one in Miami. So I'm really trying to get like a lot of different like, I guess, scenes and perspectives
Okay.
for it. So
Okay. Dope.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about this this beautiful videographer, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It was,
What were your thoughts when you saw it, when you started getting tagged and you saw it go up?
Well, I guess when I first saw it, it was just like, like, appreciate the gesture. I don't know if that's fully accurate about like, I don't know if I'm the like in the top 4 videographers in the state. You know,
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's so hard to like, you can't really come to a conclusion on things like that because it's so subjective. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, like, cool beans, and then like, I appreciate it, you know. And then I check back like I don't know, a week later, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a war in the comments, you know.
Yeah.
And everyone's recommending like themselves and like their best friend who's a videographer, and it's just like it's one of those things I usually try to stay out of, like those kind of wars. But it's really interesting to see like people argue like that hard about stuff like that. So,
Yeah. So do you agree with the Rushmore?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Like I'd say it's like I've heard of everyone on there,
Yeah.
and everyone there has done like a lot of like they've made an impact on the local music scene. So I think it like makes sense. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be too technical about it or too analytical about something that's not that serious, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people just think it's like end of the world. Like,
I think people get caught up in the thing that I think about it, just from my personal perspective, is when you say somebody, people focus too much on the who's not there, rather than the realizing that like being a top 4, like there's nothing wrong with 5 or 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Like being in the top 10 of something is impressive. You know what I mean? Like that's like I guess I don't know how to compare it, but I guess like like when a mainstream rapper gets upset that they weren't on somebody's top 10, it's like, well, you might have been 11.
yeah, and that's just one person's top 10. Like if
Exactly.
like there's a million other people with different lists, so
Yeah.
it's like whatever, man. Like just create your art, you know. I don't know.
What's your personal top 4? Who are your personal top 4?
Ooh, the hard questions here. I mean, I feel like 1323 should have been on there.
For
At
sure.
least when it comes to like the local music scene, like, 'cause he like I'd seen his stuff on like his name on a bunch of stuff before I started. So, who else? I don't know. Like, I really don't like pay attention too much to like the local music scene anymore.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to spitball about a couple other people who I think are dope, like Sway Heavy, I remember he did some good shit. Matt Wales, who else? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of really creative people. It's like I honestly could probably never come up with a definitive top 4.
That's just, I mean,
So,
that's Matt Wales definitely. I don't know if Sway Heavy is. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. He did a couple videos. Like he might not have dropped anything in a couple years, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I
thought
don't
he was
know why I'm
pretty
not
dope.
familiar with that name. Matt Wales for sure though. He to me, Matt Wales, like even though he's been doing it for a while, he's still on the come up to me. He's still, you know what I mean? He's got work to do to get to the Rushmore status. But you could make an argument for him. He's done a lot. And he's great. And I mean, aside from what he's done as far as like the video he shot and who he's worked with, his quality is incredible. So yeah, that I could definitely see that. But so is music video something that like that's out of your realm now? Like you don't want to do that anymore at all, or?
No, it's definitely not out of my realm.
Yep.
It's just like there was a point where like I was calling myself a filmmaker, a film director, yet all I did was music videos.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to change the ratio a little bit more. I really got to spend the majority of my time focused on my original movies. And then when I do music videos, I got to really just be selective on who I'm working with and just really just make some dope shit and not worry about like pumping out a bunch of like volume with the music videos. Really just make a couple good ones.
Yeah.
When like the time comes, you know.
Have you always
So,
been selective when it comes to music videos? Like, do you have to enjoy the music? Do you have to like the song?
honestly, there was a time when I was, and then there was a longer time when I wasn't. You know, it really depends.
Was it when the time that you weren't? Was it more like I got to get paid? So
for the most part,
I'm here to
and
work.
just want to get my work out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it depends. you
But
know.
now you're in a position where you can be a little more choosy.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
like priority right now. Just really, I don't want to make anything that's like kind of against what I'm trying to do with my life. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Do you listen to like local artists' music?
Very few. Honestly, like the people who I really like doing videos for are the people I would like listen to.
Who are you
know.
listening to these days?
I listen to a lot of like Salvin Family. He's a local artist who like does a lot of K-pop and pop, and like also was a local rapper and stuff like that too.
Okay.
And he has his own little label. So Salvin Family, Salv Magne is his artist name.
Okay.
And his brother, they've always made dope music. Alan Kingdom for sure. Yeah, like I guess those are the only ones that I really listen to these days. Oh, Cashanova, of course. Yeah, a lot of people.
What happened with
handful.
Alan's career? Because it seemed like there was this heavy incline, and then it was like out of nowhere, it was like there was a decline. And I felt like it was the Kanye thing.
I don't know. It's like the whole music industry. It's tough to get on, and it's tough to stay on. You know, and like I could say like I know a tiny bit of what that's like to like have like your numbers go up and everyone looking at you, and then like they kind of go down.
Yeah.
It's not like it's really tough to maintain that if you like blow up pretty fast. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really have to be doing much wrong to not maintain a quick blow up. You
For
know,
sure.
like if you just blow up and then don't maintain that, it's like because it's really hard to maintain that.
Yeah, I fear.
don't know.
Are you familiar with Casey Pluto?
I've heard the name, probably a Facebook friend or something.
So
I don't know.
he's kind of in a similar position to where Alan was,
Mm-hmm.
where he's next to Kanye. He's now Grammy nominated from a Kanye song,
Mm-hmm.
and I fear that it's like the same. He's in danger of the same thing happening, where it's like, I feel like what happened with Alan. Let me just be real, is he peaked too early. He wasn't. It was like all of a sudden it was like boom, I'm next to Kanye, and then all of a sudden he wasn't next to Kanye anymore, and it was like, well, fuck. Now
I don't
what?
know. I wouldn't say that. I guess it's like when you like I guess see that side of like Hollywood and stuff like that, and if it doesn't vibe with you, you don't want to force like your content to fit into that box. You don't want to like just keep on going down a certain route if it's
Yeah.
not your route.
Yep.
Like one of the biggest videos I ever did was like for Chief Keef. I did a handful of Chief Keef videos.
Uh-oh.
And like I could have like kept going down that route.
Yep.
And then like my numbers would have stayed up. Like my videos would have stayed getting hundreds of thousands. Some of them would have got millions of views if I would have kept doing that. But like a lot of situations like that, at least from my experience, it's like when you work with someone that big, they want you to like really like create your content for them now rather
Yeah.
than yourself, or just to do their thing. And it's like if you don't do that, it's a little bit hard to maintain that kind of like attention that came from that. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
That's a good transition, because I got a little controversial question. Speaking of Chief Keef, can you talk to me about the controversy, whatever happened with the Southside Chief Loud Pack video? Can you talk to me about that?
That was okay. The Loud Pack video.
Yep.
Oh man, the I just bought a Loud Pack one.
You said what?
The one where he says, "I just bought a loud pack" in the lyrics. Yeah, that was one of the first. Wait, I didn't do that one.
You didn't do it.
I'm trying to remember how that went. Like, that was one of the first video inquiries I ever got. Okay. So I was like 16, and like I was not like familiar with the local music scene at all. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do hip hop videos at all.
Yep.
And then I guess I like got that inquiry, and then I just like immediately, as my 16-year-old innocent little like nerdy self, I see that, and it's like I see lots of talk about drugs and swear words and stuff like that, and I'm just this little kid like with a camera. Like, am I gonna get in trouble doing stuff like this?
Oh.
So I was a little nervous about it, as just like, and then obviously years later I started doing videos with plenty of profanity and drug references and stuff like that. So it was really just kind of like,
including Chief Keef, one of the most dangerous artists of all time.
Yeah. So it was, I think just like the way that situation, the reason that was like that was just because I had no experience in the local scene.
Apprehensive.
So
you were young and apprehensive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay. So
was there like another controversy about that besides that?
I think the controversy is that you ended up then going and shooting for Chief Keef.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's like, I don't want to do this over here. But then you went over there. So but
it was like, there was like 3 years difference, you know, like that was literally one of the first video inquiries I ever got. And it was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to do videos like that. I mean, and then like I got some inquiries, and eventually I started doing videos like that. So,
so how was the experience working with Chief Keef?
It was okay. It was very different than working with most of the people I work with, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing was like most of the music videos I did, people reached out to me like for the videos.
Yeah.
And then the Chief Keef stuff was kind of like happened because I was around him.
Why were you around him?
Basically, his manager was like really like trying to get us to work together. One of his managers, and the big difference is just like with like a Minnesota artist who reaches out to me, they really care about my creative input, and then I'll be like, hey, we got to spend like a full day shooting. We're going to these different locations, and I have this for the treatment, this for the story we got to do. We got to get these actors. And that was always my normal process. And then when like started working with Chief Keef and them, I was kind of just like at his house, just like, he's like, yeah, we're going to shoot. And then it's just like a couple of days later, he's just like, yeah, we're going to shoot. And then like it didn't happen until like 6 days later of doing practically nothing, just kind of waiting around. And then we ended up shooting the first video. Now it's over in like 15 minutes with like 3 scenes. So I was a little nervous about that. Like, wait, aren't we gonna shoot a little bit more? Like, don't you want to like come up with something? And he's just like, nah, just edit this shit right now. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So it wasn't one of my best videos creatively, but it was like, well, I guess a worthwhile experience to have, to really just see the different dynamics.
You ended up shooting one video for him or multiple videos?
I shot 4.
And which ones did you shoot?
It was Hobby, No Reason, Now It's Over, and then First Day Out. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. By the time we got to Hobby and No Reason, like the dude had known me a little bit more, so like I was able to have a little bit more creative input. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And then I also did like a bunch of videos for like the rest of the Glow Gang guys. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like working with them was pretty chill on my part. I don't know.
Where was this work taking place? Was it in Chicago, or was he out of Chicago by then?
It was pretty much all in like Chicago suburbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
you ever find yourself in any scary predicaments?
No, but I apparently dodged a couple bullets. Like I guess almost literally. Like there were times like a day after I left, like one of Chief Keef's managers' houses got broken into, and that's where we were filming a lot. That's where I was staying sometimes. Literally, like a place I was staying at, like got broken into, and like shots were fired.
Wow.
And like it was just like the day after I left or something.
Whew.
I don't know if I'm fully accurately describing the timing of it, but there was like, yeah, there were a couple situations where I heard something happened, and I was like, oh damn, I was right there, like
almost there
a couple of days ago.
Scary
I don't know.
Shit. You know what? That leads me to another question. How do you feel about shooting a music video with guns pointed at you?
I mean, it was like, the cool thing about it is just like you just talk to the artist, like, hey, like, can you unload the chamber?
You check it yourself?
Well, honestly, in the beginning, I was a little shy too.
Yeah.
But luckily enough, like the first person, whoever like had a gun in the video where he was gonna point it, he went out of his way to show me, hey, I'm taking the bullets out. Shows me the chamber is also empty.
Okay.
And it was okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got beams on you and shit. You're shooting at fucking green beams, red beams.
There
all
have
on
been
you.
some accidents that have happened because of stuff like that too.
Yeah. Shout out to Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that too.
I don't mean to laugh at that, but he killed somebody. Like
Yeah.
that really happened.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more, especially with music videos.
Yeah, you got to make sure you like do your safety checks, you know.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Well, you've had a crazy career, and I'm going to watch the movie tonight. I
Dope,
shouldn't watch it
dope,
with my
dope.
kids?
Honestly, if it's just language, like
I don't care
if you
about
don't
that.
care about the
Yeah, I
language,
don't
watch it
care
with
about
your kids.
that.
Like
Okay.
it's a fun experience. Like it's just like profanity and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, I don't
You
care
know.
about that. I cuss around my kids all the time. I talk to my kids the way I talk to everybody else. So, yeah, we're gonna watch it. My kids like superhero shit too, so we're gonna watch it, man. And we'll definitely watch the series too when it drops.
Dope. Appreciate it.
Do you have any ideas as far as timeline?
Well, let's see. Probably in the next, like, I'd say 2-3 months, we're gonna drop the first episode.
Okay.
And then dropping them probably bi-weekly.
Also on Amazon?
No, the series I'm probably gonna be dropping it on YouTube.
Okay.
Because the episodes are gonna be very unconventional in length.
Yeah.
So there's some might be 10 minutes, some might be 20 minutes, some might be 15 minutes.
Okay. So I feel
It's
like
gonna be
that's a
interesting.
smart move nowadays, though.
Yeah, because I really
YouTube
want
is
to
the
have
move.
Yeah, I want to have control over like the platform for at least for the series, you know.
Yeah.
And really just focus on using it to build my own brand.
Yeah.
And then for the next movies that I do, I'll go for a more typical movie release.
Yeah.
You know, with Amazon and stuff.
Dope. That's very dope, man. Well, you've had a great career. I can't
Thank you.
wait to watch what you do next. Protectors on Amazon. Is
Yeah,
it free?
yeah.
Is it?
It's free on Tubi with ads, and then if you have a subscription to Prime, you can also watch for free.
Okay, cool.
Or
I
if you
do.
don't have either, if you don't want to watch ads, you can just like rent it for $2 or buy it for like $7 or something.
Okay.
It's yeah.
What
there's
what
options.
benefits you more? The rental?
What benefits me more would be you would buy it on Amazon.
Okay.
Or something I think for like $9.99
Okay.
in HD.
All right.
So
Yeah, I'll do that.
appreciate
I'll
it,
do
man.
that. I think that's important. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you got any closing thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, it's just
Any advice for young filmmakers?
let's see. Advice for young filmmakers. It's like I'd say like number one thing is like besides just learning like the technical stuff and making sure to stay high quality with your stuff, really just focus on telling your own honest story. That like don't let other people tell you how you're supposed to tell your stories. You know, like really put your heart into it. Make it like draw from your own life experiences and make something that only you can make. You know, I don't know.
Well said. No, that's well said. That's great. You're right about that for sure. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben the Filmmaker, YouTube.com/Limit Studios, Skyward Stories, Skyward_stories is the cinematic universe Instagram of connected to the Protectors and my series. So
Okay.
yeah, Skyward Stories, Ben the Filmmaker, Limit Breaker Studios.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody go watch The Protectors on Amazon right now. Go buy it. $10. You got $10. And before we go real quick, I just want to I want to send, thoughts, prayers, condolences out to Boss Selly and his family. We just found out about it this morning. I don't know when this is airing exactly, but yeah, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. So that's it. I'm not going to say too much else, but just thoughts and prayers out to him and his family and friends and loved ones and all that, man. R.I.P. Selly. That's a tough loss. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Bearclaw. Follow me everywhere at Jake Bearclaw.
Damn, Woody. In high school, I let it blam, Woody. I wasn't playing, Woody. I'm coming straight out the south. Hey, genius, best watch your mouth. When I put up on P&B, right, that ain't it come out. You moving ounces, I just moved 100 things in a drought. You want the south side, outside the fence of your house. You talking all that, then when I come talk it out. If you ain't talking money,